It's better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. I am super thrilled today to be here with you with Kathy Strauss. How are you today, Kathy?
I am fabulous. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to all of this and enjoying our conversation prior to.
Well, same here. I feel like we have a connection because we're connected through Dr. Joe D. Bear, and then we're also connected through my son. And it's a lot of different people that have mentioned you and spoke so highly of you. So I'm really honored to finally have you here on the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you.
And listen, all of you that are in the studio audience, go ahead and take a moment and just enjoy letting other people be invited into this platform so that they get an opportunity to experience the Kim Jacobs Show as well. Without you in the studio audience, the show could never bring balance. We couldn't bring balance to this world, one household at a time.
Yep.
It's because you're taking the time to tune in and to participate in the studio audience that makes our show the success that it is. So thank you to the studio audience members. So today we're going to be talking about something good. In a nutshell, Kathy, tell people what they can expect on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show.
Really? Well, let me see. Understanding that creativity is your superpower.
Yep.
Creativity heals. Creativity creates community. And basically understanding that you are the artist of your life.
You are the artist of your life. You don't have to wait for somebody else to dictate to you the outcome of your destiny. You can take the bull by the horns yourself, and you can make some tremendous things happen, especially when you have, in my opinion, a higher power that you are depending on to help you in this journey. So I have obviously my Lord and Savior that I 100% say, this is your world. I'm just walking through it. So what do you want me to do? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, creativity actually is just one of those things that has influenced me since I was ever so little and stuff like this. And it's crazy. I'm trying to get, and talk about creativity. I have been trying to stop this with the printer from printing. It is the gallery right here. I'm doing all of this stuff. I thought it was going to print earlier. So talk about going, all of that stuff.
That's a good thing, because the thing is, everything when you're balancing life, you're balancing it in real time. So I don't really know how to talk about balancing life when we don't have imbalanced moments, because
absolutely.
It's a part of our lives,
You know what balance is? Balance is learning to multitask, understanding how to multitask, understanding what to let go of and what to use in order to get you towards your higher power. That's actually what influenced me with writing the book, and with each of the chapter projects, or the chapter books, the two that I worked with Dr. Jody Bear, Healthopedia and the Essence of a Woman. And then the very first one, which was with Lady J.B. Owen and the Ignite Publishing and Ignite Your Faith. And talk about faith. It's not so much for me with that higher power. Yes, everybody has a higher power, but it was like life just threw so much at me. I screamed enough. And each time I screamed that enough, or life threw something else at me, I literally found something creative to do to bring the volume down and to bring everything else down.
That's good. You said to bring the volume down. We're going to talk about that in more detail. That's going to actually, I want that to be the first point that we talk about,
Sure,
because
absolutely.
that is no scripted situation. But I just want us to talk from when I hear you say some things, it automatically sparks some additional
Sure,
questions for me.
absolutely.
So we're going to talk about what does it look like to bring the volume down. Let me introduce everybody, you to everyone. Kathy Strauss is a visionary artist. That's what she is, with more than 40 years of experience in the creative industry. As a self described creationeer, as she brings her imagination and her heart to every project, blending photography, mixed media, and words to create meaningful visual stories. Now, again, it's so much to her bio that you're going to hear a lot of it in this hour that we spend together. So I'm not going to read it to you. I want you to experience it. And welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show, Kathy Strauss.
Thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate you asking me. And I mean, I want to really give thanks to our friend Nefertina, Dr. Nefertina
Yes.
Serrano. And yeah,
I
I can't say,
love Dr. Now, I was trying not to interrupt you, but okay. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to make
I mean,
sure.
both of us had the same feeling, which is like, oh my God, Dr. Nefertina. And she, it's, I can't say enough, but that is yours and my real connection with all of this stuff.
Absolutely. She
And
speaks so highly of you. She loves you. But Dr. Nefertina, her life speaks volumes, in my opinion, because
very
she's such
much
a
so.
great connector.
Right. She is an amazing connector. So with connections is, think about connect the dots. The little magazines that we used to get, and
Yes.
when you would sit and do all of those puzzles, and you had to connect the dots in order to create all the different pictures or different project and all of that type of stuff. And if you think about it,
Right.
that wasn't just that magazine. What is your life like? Your life is connecting the dots. Everything that you do leads you to another point. Everything that you do leads you by different colors, leads you by
That's
different
that's right.
design principles, which is what is in my book, Kaleidoscope Redesigning Your Life. And all of those dots that, had for me, that fell apart, came together, fell apart, came together again. I just kind of looked at it as this wonderful little bits of color. And, all I did is that I just shift and change and go with the flow. And creativity is all about resilience. So, and it's for me, but the more I talk to people, the more they use creativity, the
Yes.
calmer they get. The volume again goes down. So I'll give you an example.
Yes.
Any of the project classes that or art classes that I have conducted or I have offered over the years, everybody comes into these classes and they're so excited and they're chatting like this, and we start the project, and all of a sudden they just kind of, they always start off with, I'm not an artist, I can't do this. And it's, let's take that judgmental phrase and reframe it to, maybe I'll give it a try. I'm not an artist. Let's reframe it again. Can you write your name? Yeah. Can you scribble? You're an artist. That's all creativity is that beautiful life scribble, that just having fun and learning to have fun. Back to the volume is, as people start to draw and they start to create, all of a sudden the room starts to get quiet, and there's this silence, and it literally is a noticeable volume down. The energy in the room starts to come down. People are feeling good.
Right.
And then the most beautiful thing, all of a sudden, I hear laughter. I hear a little giggle. Ooh, that looks good. Oh, here, let me show you what I did. All that stuff. That to me is the definition of turning the volume down,
Turning.
tapping into that basically turning off the left side of your brain
Mhm.
to
Into the
turning
right.
on the right side.
That's good. And so basically that means that anyone can
Yep,
turn down the volume and
absolutely,
be in control of turning that volume down.
absolutely, absolutely.
So sometimes we are so inundated with everything that's happening around us, things that we can't control. I was actually talking to my mom about that. And I said, listen, mom, there are some things that I deal with and I go through, but I'm not able to control anyone else. But
Right,
what I can do is I can stay in control of how I behave, how I handle the situations,
right,
and how I turn the volume down. So I
exactly.
love that theory. When did you realize in your own life that you were this creative person? Because not everyone is creative as you are to the point where you make a life and a living surrounding it.
I've always been creative. So, very honest. I was a musician as well as an artist, and music theory and I didn't really get along, but I always wanted to teach. And but it was the teaching art that I
Mm.
wanted to do. I love working with people. I love helping people connect the dots to understand what they need to do, whether it is using a camera or with a paintbrush or even a simple little Sharpie like this. That I always wanted to do that. When I turned the volume down, really learned to turn the volume down, was in my first marriage, which unfortunately was not a great one. And to support my daughter's dance habits, I
Mm.
was making jewelry.
Oh, wow.
And and again, there's that little bit of a creative. I worked as a graphic designer, and I lived in that real graphic design world, but it was more left brain design because I was designing books, presentations. I
Right.
was working in international. I like that you put it up there. Turn the volume down. I
Yeah.
love
You know
it.
what? I'm not being your agent or anything, but
No,
that might
I
be
think
another
that's
book.
fabulous.
That might be a good book title.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. But what I ended up doing is I was working for the World Bank, and it was an international development. I loved all of that stuff. And I was presentations, and I just was just lived in this world of creativity. And after I left my first husband, what was the one thing that helped save me?
Mm.
Creativity, picking up that paintbrush again, doing my doodles, and most of all, very honestly, journaling. Journaling is uber, uber, uber important
Mm.
for everybody. It helps get get it basically that that noise that's in your head. It takes that noise and puts it onto a piece of paper, so all of a sudden your brain is quiet again,
Mm.
and then you're able to concentrate.
Wow. Okay. So this is really good. I love the fact, and I love the fact that you've been creative your whole pretty much life type of thing, and you consider yourself a creationeer is your own self title.
Right. Uh-huh.
What does that title actually mean to you? Because it sounds like it's just a part of your life's work.
So my friend Pete um, gave me that name.
Oh,
We when
wait,
we
wait,
were
wait. Let me see. Pete? Is Pete in the hat back here?
Yes, that is him.
Pete, I'm pulling you up, baby. Hey, Pete. I love it. So go ahead. Tell us about Pete.
So anyway, we met in college, and we reconnected when my late husband got sick. But we
Oh,
reconnected through photography.
let me put
This
that.
is my late husband.
That's your late husband.
Yes, and he too was an artist. He was an amazing fine artist,
Wow.
and so creativity is basically again surrounding me. But Pete coined that name for me because I was trying to explain to him what I was doing with my life and with everything that I did.
Uh,
And he said, "You've got a big heart. You have a wild imagination, or an imagination that you just see everything, you sense everything.
right.
And by combining heart and imagination, you are actually engineering your life, but you're engineering it the creative way. So you're a creationaire."
Well, let me just, I have to point out because I recognize these kind of things. Now, everyone that's tuned in right now, you may not all see what I'm saying, what I'm showing, Kathy, but it's important for you to visualize it. She's very professional, white hair, nice glasses. She's regal and beautiful background and all of this stuff. But whenever Pete came in the picture, they gave her the term creationaire. Guess what? She has her back teeth showing. She's smiling. I don't see all of that and everything. So she's smiling with some fun glasses on. Pete's in a cowboy hat with the photographer, with the camera. They living their best life, y'all. Now, she living her best life right now. That's all I'll say. That's what I'll say. Carry
Thank
on,
you.
Kathy.
Thank you. So I have to give him a lot of credit, and which is I, you know, my volume can be very loud, and
Mhm.
I run at breakneck speed,
Right.
multitasking with everything, doing my business ImageWorks, which was it's all photography now, the writing and everything like that I was doing, and I was doing the graphic design,
Mm,
and it was a go 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 go,
mm.
and I give him credit because he's going, "Come on, let's go take pictures of the sunrise."
Ah, so how important is it? Because I'm probably similar to, but not the major creative like you, but just the volume is up and I'm going in the different directions and the things that I know God has for me to salt this earth. And even right now, you've heard my voice is a little raspy and different things in recovering. But even to take a full pause for my voice to fully recover is like, what? I don't have time for that. I'm not doing that. So my thing is, how important is it to have someone in your life that sees the need to not balance you, but just offer some other synergistic pieces that can complement who you are?
It could be a partner, it could be a friend, it could
Yes.
be a spouse, it could be a sibling, or even your child if the older. Basically, it's I will say it's if you start to see some of things repeat over and over and over and
Yeah.
over again, the design principle of repetition, it's important for you to find a rhythm in your life, another design principle, and just look at what you're doing and recognize in your body, in your head. Do you feel the tension in the back of your neck? Do you
Mm.
feel the knife in the pit of your stomach? Do you feel that, right now I'll say, I call them goosebumps or like God angel bumps,
Right.
whatever. Everybody gets them. It's those senses that tell you that you are in balance, you are
Mhm.
in harmony,
Beautiful.
you are learning to, you've either your life is whacked out of proportion, or it's what do you need to do that is contrast. If this doesn't work and it's screaming at you like this, you need to bring the volume down to find that harmony. So what I've done is that I've just introduced all of the design principles, which are in my book, The Kaleidoscope Redesigning Your Life, of contrast, harmony, balance, emphasis, unity, proportion, rhythm, repetition. Can you be prepared to harness really radical energy?
That's really good. Can you be prepared to like harness it, pull it in, invite it into your life? I love this. Now, I want to put up this picture too because I can see that I'm sure this is a very special part of your life. So, talk to us about this
That
being.
is that is my 7-week-old new granddaughter. Yep, her name is Phoenix Anya, or oh, excuse me, my daughter will shoot me, Anaya, and she is out in Los Angeles, California, which is like breaks my heart because I'm in South Carolina. They're out in California, but I get the phone call going, "Are you available?" And then of course my daughter comes up on WhatsApp going, it's like, here, let's have a little, a little grams and grandbaby,
Oh,
conversation.
well,
So,
absolutely adorable, already full of personality.
uh,
It's just 7 weeks. I can't imagine the level of creativity that's going to ooze through her pores, you know?
absolutely. Well, her mom and her dad are very, very creative. Her dad is likes to paint and design the Nike tennis shoes, and
Mhm.
he also does graphic design work. And my daughter is a dancer.
Mhm.
Remember all those years ago that I supported her in her dance habits? She does the dancing, and she's also an amazing artist, painter herself. So all of that stuff, it just kind of trickled down the family line, that type of stuff.
Well, this is excellent. I see so many different pictures back here. I'm maneuvering through the backstage as I'm also communicating with you. So it's quite a lot of fun. Let me also just ask, was there a time, because since we're talking on that creative vein right now, was there ever a time that you even questioned your
Oh,
creativity? And I see you in the studio audience, everyone, and I'll acknowledge you as well.
absolutely. Actually, I've been told don't share this sometimes, and I'm going,
Mhm.
no, this is a part of my story. In 7th grade, I was flunked out of art class.
Get out of
Yes,
here.
I was, and it was, how it go. What happened though
Mm,
is I wasn't being challenged. I didn't have
that's good.
that teacher that
Mm,
lit that flame or
right.
that spark and
Mm.
inspiration. And I will thank Mr. Witkowski,
Mr. Witkowski, okay?
8th grade.
Okay.
So as all of our, we always called him Mr. Wit. And he saw that spark, and
Hmm.
he inspired. And all it takes is
Good.
that one teacher, one influencer, one person that is important in your life that
Yes.
actually will push you and
That's
say, this is
right.
what you need to do.
I'm glad you said that. So Mr. Witkowski, is that what his name is?
Witkowski. It's fine.
Witkowski.
Yep.
So now, however many years later, you were in 8th grade. He believed in you, and now you're however old you are, still including him in your story. So he's going to go down in history as someone that believed in a little girl who had flunked the previous year, and it opened up all of these possibilities in your life.
Absolutely. And it's actually very interesting because my business partner with the art gallery that I just opened, she had a very similar experience that
Mm,
she too was challenged. Because she's very creative and they didn't like what she was doing. And she was going, then challenge me, challenge me. She's an amazing artist, and the two of us challenge each other, but in a good way of how can we do better, how can we spread the word of
mhm.
creativity, community, healing. And you put all of this together, and the energy just vibrates and it feels good, and people just want to do stuff, and they want to hang out, and they want to, it's like, what can I do today? What can I draw? What can I paint? What
Right.
can I go and do a photograph of? What can you teach us so we are living our best life?
Living our best life, turning the volume down. I hope you all are really capturing these as notes that you can apply to your everyday life with so much chaos. Living your best life by turning the volume down, by utilizing your creativity, and knowing that we all have that creative side to us. We
Yes.
may not exercise it, but we need to. So when you say that you believe that creativity can be a force even for connection, healing, transformation, is there an example that you have maybe of where that really was something that you witnessed in your own?
In my own personal life, creativity is, especially when I was caring for my late husband,
Oh, okay.
and when he initially got sick, he was Mr. Private, didn't want to tell anybody what was going on,
Oh.
and and I'm just complete opposite. I want to shout.
Tell the world I need
You
prayer.
got it. That's
I need help.
exactly right. Exactly right. And I took to the world's biggest blog, or it's called Facebook.
All right.
And I literally got on there and I said, this is what's going on, and I need help. He needs help. One, pray for him. Two, I need resources because we're not getting the right answers.
Mm,
And
mhm.
outpouring, what can we do? What can we help you with? All of that stuff. I also, at the same time, while I was doing that, we had our business. So we can still keep our business going.
Right.
We were doing graphic design, so I had client work that I was actually designing and working with on my laptop
Mm.
while I'm sitting there in the hospital with him. And whether it was a sketchbook or my laptop with all of the art
Right.
software, and Facebook, which
Oh my God.
and believe it or not, that actually was really showed me the importance of journaling. As he got progressively got sicker, and
Right.
we were coming down here to South Carolina. Another friend gave me the tool, or introduced this to me. It's called caringbridge.org. And for
Yes.
all of the viewers out there, please, if you are dealing with a loved one that is sick and you do not want to shout it out to the world, go to caringbridge.org. It is a nonprofit that was started by uh, a mom that had a sick child, and she didn't wanted to keep it private. So
Right.
you actually have to you sign up for it. It's free,
Mm.
and then you can share the link. And if the people want to follow you, they will get notifications as to what
Yes.
that is. But that is your journal, and that is literally what my journal was, and it kept me sane. Again, taking
I,
all of that brain chatter, all of the chatter here, and putting it onto paper.
I love that you're saying that about Caring Bridge, because in the final moments with one of my other friends, I was able to go in and write things that it was to the actual child after the parent had passed away, but I was able to go in and share memories and things
Mhm.
on that Caring Bridge page that are permanent documents for that
Yes,
family. And so,
absolutely.
so I definitely, hey, Caring Bridge, you might end up wanting to be one of the sponsors for the Kim Jacobs show, because we
Absolutely.
literally support you and we love you over here, and we believe in the program, caringbridge.org. So right now they're not a sponsor, but we still, just because of that doesn't mean that we don't support. We support, and it's a great bridging the gap situation. Thank you.
Exactly. No problem. But it's throughout that, whether it was the journaling, whether it was recognizing, and I really didn't recognize the that the design principles were actually guiding me through all of the stuff. So it was one night while I was caring for GC, and he's laying recuperating, and I'm on the computer doing some work, and I go on to my favorite journaling tool, the Facebook, and a synchronicity, something pops up. Are
Mm.
you looking for your artist within? I went, well, that's interesting.
Of
Click.
course. Yes. That's me all day long.
We've all done that. And it literally brought me to my creative now, who is now my creative mentor's website. Her name is Whitney Freya. She is actually, I'm very thankful to her. She actually did the forward for my book and influenced a lot of everything that I was doing. And basically gave me the tools to become a creative coach through not only do I do the photography and all of that other stuff, but it allows me and it gave me the tools to be able to teach people how to use creativity to influence their life, to help heal their lives, to just make improvements. You asked me for some examples. I had one of my students, and he was a high level trade and patent attorney in Washington, D.C., because we were living up there. And he came in one day and he was like, I am just stressed out of my max. And somebody said, you should be doing something creative. And he said, in your workshop, your artist within caught my eye. And sure enough, he came in one day and he said, I'm having a really bad day. And I said, what happened? And he was like, my wife just walked out on me. He said, "What?" And sure enough, he said, the act of drawing, tearing up magazines, colored pencils, crayons, scribbling, actually helped him shift his perspective. And he became calmer. Another one of my students worked in HR, and she had her journal with her, and she said she was just having a day where her door was a revolving door, and people just were not slowing down, and they just was like, complaint after complaint. And she said she had a box of crayons, and she said, I'm going to take Kathy's advice and scribble and draw and all of that stuff. And sure enough, she said she started and the page was literally black. She said it was black and it was dark colors and it was just like this tornado storm. She said by the time she finished drawing and doodling and the scribbling, the color shifted from black and brown and all of a sudden became bright colors. The next page that she did, what had happened is that she had taken that left judgmental voice of no, 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 complaint, 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 to actually the rainbow came out and the mindfulness happened. And she was like, oh my God, this is just amazing. She said, it's a magical tool. In my own life, when I have wrote, we were going after, proposals and stuff for different projects. And I'm one of those, if I'm, I'll go computer and I'll go, oh God, my tense. And you can feel it. I'm just really tense. And what do? I go run down to the refrigerator to get something to eat. And then I come back up. It's like, "Oh!" Right. And it was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And GC, God bless him, looked at me and he said, go throw some paint on a canvas, please. You'll feel better.
You feel much better, right?
And I did. I just, grabbed some paintbrushes. I had a small canvas and I just painted. It was just something similar to what I have back here. It was just
That's beautiful. That's very relaxing to even look at the imagery behind you.
And what ended up happening is I was like, all right, this is fine. I can't do anything more. Otherwise, it's going to turn into mud. And I came back to my computer and sat there for 4 hours and literally knocked out the proposal and concentrated the entire time. And I proved it to myself that if I'm running in that circle, AKA that high volume energy where it's like I can't relax, I know. Pick up a paintbrush, pick up a crayon, or go for a walk outside. Like for me, go down to the beach. I'm here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I'm 6 miles from one of the state parks.
Oh, that's so good.
Go down there and just listen. When my husband passed away, somebody said, go take a walk on the beach. And I'm going,
Yeah,
it's raining. And they're going, go for a walk on the beach. The sound of the ocean is going to calm you.
it
So
really does. It does.
put on the rain gear, grabbed the dog, and we went for a walk. And sure enough, I came back and the volume was
Yeah.
lower. I was
Wow.
feeling better.
So then what I'm understanding is that for those people that say, I'm not creative, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do, what advice would you give them? Because there are a lot of people in this world that really do not classify themselves as creatives.
And that is actually the tool. So, one, I want them to recognize when they hear that I'm not creative, that was actually created when you were very, very little. It
Mm,
was, it was all of the voices that were judgmental, that were no, 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 no,
mm.
no, 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 no. One, take that word no and take the letters N and O and say next opportunity. It's, one, what's that next opportunity that we're going to go for? Then look at that left shoulder and just go, hi, you've got a little character on your shoulder, and his name is George. And George is that left judgmental voice. And now that he has a personality, go, you know what? I need some peace and quiet for myself. Go take a walk for a while.
Right.
Now,
Oh, that's good.
just, all right, it's from there. Now, what I want you to do is if you've got a coloring book, go get a coloring book. That doesn't have to be.
Like it can be from the dollar store, right? It can
It
just
could be from the dollar store.
just some regular crayons,
Crayola crayons, you know?
crayons and a coloring book of
That's
any sort that you like. It can be hearts, whatever, and just start coloring. Is that what you're saying?
that's exactly right. And just in or find one of the paint and sip classes, a gallery that, similar to mine. It could be wine and design, or any of these other classes. Go find one that, if you're in the senior center, do some flower arranging, or any of that stuff. You're not doing art to put art in a gallery. Don't think of it that way. When they say that you are not I'm not an artist, I'm not asking you to be an artist to create something, this magical painting. Mm-mm.
Why are
I
you? What are you saying? Because it's like if you're saying we're not. I'm not asking you to be some art gallery expert professional,
no, no,
but
no.
what are you saying for people to do?
I'm actually asking you to think, and I keep hearing this, think outside the box. But if you're thinking outside the box, if you're not creative, go take a nap. That's act of creativity. Go take a walk. That's an act of creativity. Go play with your new grandbaby. That's creative. Go play with your dog. That's creative. If you like to cook, that's creative. It's the act of putting together different ingredients in order to create something new.
Wow.
Or if everybody likes doing vision boards these days, like visioning where you want to go, what you want to do. Go grab some magazines and tear some pictures out and go, okay, this is really cool. This is what I'm going to do. And then just take, little glue stick. You can go to the dollar store and you can do scissors and, or you know what? Go play someplace. Go find a old playground. When was the last time that you actually sat on a swing and swung like a kid? It's learning to play like a kid again. Is one of my students and a former student. I asked him, I said, what are you doing in class? And he said that his teenager said, "So, Dad, what are you learning in your art class?" And he said, "To play like a kid again, because I haven't played like this in forever." You know,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
take whatever is in your junk drawer and put it together in a sculpture. It doesn't have to, just the act of doing something different, doing something that is making you feel ingenious and inventive. It's that learning to shift your perspective of, you have one contrast, everything is black. Oh my God, I can't see through the darkness. And shifting it to the white, it's reframing everything again.
This is so good. I'm literally going to, when I get done, I don't know that I know my mom, she has these adult coloring books
Mhm.
with all of the different tapestry and it's
Yep,
beautiful, beautiful. And she has the adult coloring pencils.
right.
But I'm going to go to the dollar store and get some regular old school coloring books and start coloring because I probably will really do myself a favor to just sit in the bed and color and relax for a
Absolutely.
few minutes.
Absolutely. And I'll plug. I have 3 coloring books that I have illustrated and written.
Mm,
One of them is actually a gratitude journal, and that's the other key to all of this too, is to be grateful for everything that
that's
you
good.
do in life, and it's wake up every morning with a thank you.
Mm,
2 words. You have 2 words and 2 feet. The minute your feet hit the floor, thank you. You walk into your day with this absolutely beautiful attitude of gratitude. And gratitude is that magic sauce that helps shift and kind of helps power
mm,
the
that's so
creativity in
good.
your world. So you can find the coloring books as well as all of the other books and my kaleidoscope book on
Okay.
my ImageWorks website, and
There you have it.
there you have it. This is
That's
here's
huge.
it is really big. This is 2.5 years worth of writing and
I
work
love
and
it.
research and stories. And I had some beautiful stories from some of my friends that actually gave me. I said, "Hey, I need stories of how creativity
Mm,
saved you." And one of my friends she went to art school, and then she went off and she did some other stuff, and then she had her workaday life, and then decided that she was going to do art again, and then of course that came turned another direction, and she went and she ran a bed and breakfast, and then she said, well, that wasn't going well, and then she came back and used her marketing and creative talents to do work in a real estate office, and as their marketing director,
that's good.
that the door shut. She was there for a year and a half. They let her go, and she was like, "So now what do I do?"
Right.
So now, she what did she do? Through journaling
Mm,
and creative activity, she dove back into her art,
mm.
and she is now, and I love it. She's now one of the artists in our gallery, as well as one of our instructors. And now what she did is that she's always loved Bob Ross, and she became a certified Bob Ross instructor.
Wow.
So now she teaches everybody how to paint happy little trees.
Mm,
So it is just the simple act of creativity helped take her from here to here. And
wow.
every time she does, she feels better about herself.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, this is so inspiring. I've already told you all I'm getting a coloring book, just some regular basic Crayola crayons, and I'm gonna just go color happy, just to use another side of my brain and think and turn the volume down. Thanks to the teaching that Kathy Strauss.
The dog walked behind the screen and I saw everything moving.
Yeah, he's funny. I
Yeah,
told you that's gonna happen.
you can see her tail or her head
Right,
over.
right. I told you that's going to happen because this show is about how you balance life. So
Yeah,
don't worry about it. It's balancing life in real time.
exactly.
He
Oh,
has a dog, and the dog is in the background.
Yeah,
living his best life too, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So you also have the Vision Arts Gallery. What
Yes.
inspired you and Jillian to open that, and what makes it so special?
Oh, well, one, I had always wanted to open up a gallery.
Okay.
When we were up in Washington, D.C., I was one of the founding artists at the Workhouse Art Center and in Lorton, Virginia. And I ended up running the Arches Gallery Artists for about 9, 10 years. And I was like, this is the inside of Vision Arts Gallery. And you can see, just different, all the different varieties of art that we have, from our mixed media to photography to glass, you name it, to all of those fun little copper creations that are up on the ceiling. And Jillian and I were friends, and Jillian is also a phenomenal artist herself. And she asked me, she said, "So I have an idea." It's usually how all of this stuff happens. And she said, she was approached by another uh, framing company, and they said, "We would love to have you take over the front space."
Oh, that's
And I said, "Well, I'll go take a look at with you." And sure enough, we went in, we took a look at it, and it just didn't feel right. Remember how I mentioned
right.
knowing what that energy, if the energy
It's
feels
gonna
right,
be
go for it. And it will tell you the right thing. And sure enough, we walked out the door and we got a phone call going, "Hey, so this space," which is the current space that we're in,
Mhm.
and the person that was in it is not paying their rent, and they're going to be evicted, and you can take it over. And at that point, Jillian, basically, I was just like, "Oh my god, now what do I do?"
Right.
And and I talked to a couple of people, talked to Pete, and everybody was like, "This is like the most exciting thing."
That's
And I was like, "Oh god, what am I going to do?" And all she said was, "Stop being afraid, be brave."
Stop being afraid
And
and be
the
brave.
minute I said yes, the heavens just went, "Okay, boom." That's where we are. So, about 5 months worth of renovation in the building. And a lot of, we had friends that are feng shui experts. They helped us correct a lot of the energy. We did a lot of energy work in there in order to clear things, a lot of praying, and we are now on our second month
That's
being
beautiful.
open. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Very light color, and the artists that come in, they want to be there. And right now there are about 25 of us, between artists and instructors. So we have a very active calendar of classes that we are filling, and have people that will just want to come in and play and create. We have one instructor that has a very academic background. And so she teaches you everything from the Renaissance all the way up to modern Cubism.
That's
We
beautiful.
have my friend Anne, who I just mentioned, that is now the Bob Ross instructor. She is also an artist in the gallery as well. She teaches oil painting. Jillian and I both are teaching classes. We have another teacher that she likes. She's doing the little artist trading cards. So think
Yeah.
of it as, yeah, she was doing the artist trading cards. She was doing paper marbling. She'll be teaching later this week jelly printing, which is a jelly
Oh,
plate, which is like this squishy
yeah.
jello like plate. And then it's a type of mono printing is.
Okay.
And but and then we have another gal that is doing the sea glass Christmas trees.
It sounds
So
very interesting.
anything and everything, including our little paint and sip workshops, which we call wine nibbles and scribbles. And
Okay.
you know p-
Wine nibbles and scribbles. Okay, that's cute.
that actually came about when I was doing a creative workshop, and my friend said, "Well, what are we going to call it?" And I said, "I don't know." She said, "Well, I know we have wine," and I said, "I know that we're going to be, we're going to have pizza and nibbles coming," and then
And you can drink something else, right? Because if I came,
oh,
like I don't
absolutely,
drink
you can drink
wine,
water, you can
yeah,
drink coffee. I don't care what it is.
whatever, just whatever your beverage of choice
Exactly
is,
right.
right?
And then so, they said, "Oh, well, we're going to be scribbling too." So wine nibbles and scribbles is how it came out. But it was like paint, play, and create.
That is good.
So it's just, and we partner with with different businesses in the Myrtle Beach area for us to come in. We just did a celebration of, and I got to pronounce this correctly, Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead.
Mm,
And it is basically a celebration of your ancestors.
okay.
And so we had everybody painting sugar skulls. So it's just the skull, but you've seen all of the really wild,
Right.
colorful skulls that they do. And it's
Yeah.
a Latin holiday, but it's very special to honor
Mm.
your ancestors. And we had a couple of students, they said, "So
My
how do I
grandma, my
paint
grandma
this?"
would be like, "Girl, don't be painting my skull that way. That is not
Yeah.
right."
And we said, "So, how am I going to paint this?" And we said, "You see all of the designs that are on the resin skull that we gave you?
Mhm.
Just use markers and paint it like it's like a 3D coloring book." And they went,
Oh.
"Oh my God, this is great!" Next thing we know, they went off.
Yeah, it sounds like you're bringing out a lot of built up, pent up energy in people that are like, look, I have so much going on. How do I release all of this that I have going on that can help better serve me as a person?
Right?
So I'm
Exactly.
loving this. Another thing that I just typed, these are things you need to go back and look at later, Kathy, because eat, play, and create is another good one for
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
There's some good stuff. Now,
It's
let me also ask you, do you think that your projects and workshops would be really beneficial for corporations? Because I'm
absolutely.
visualizing that for you.
Absolutely. Team building and creative team building
Yes.
is extremely important. It can be just by taking and doing a simple, "Hey, we're going to paint today,"
Mm.
all the way to doing. And I mentioned earlier the junk sculptures. One of when. Years ago, I actually worked with Carleton University and the
Mhm.
World Bank, and I brought creativity to the corporate world. And it was a program called the International Program on Development Evaluation for Training.
Okay.
And so all of these international evaluators, and getting them to understand that evaluators think like artists, and
Mm.
actually very much so the same relation is leaders think like artists, or leaders are also artists, because you have to do you have to think outside the box. You have to come up with a creative solution for
Mm.
problems that come up all of a sudden.
Yes.
So we have all of those same they have all of the same qualities a as an artist, where an artist actually solves problems but does it creatively. How am
Mm.
I going to make this project look good? So one of the projects that I gave my evaluators was I presented to them several tables filled with junk, and I
Mm.
said,
Okay.
"You are now in a fictitious organization. You
Okay.
have to come up with a new innovative invention. I don't care what it is. You have to come up with a name for your business, a logo for your business, and now you have to create something out of this pile of junk." And using the analytical brain, which is the left side of your brain, plus using the right side of the brain, they actually created a something that would clean water out of this piece of junk. They were working with how to capture fish, how to actually give a you know the pills that, for the healthcare providers. So how they were going to, are we going to give them a pill that's going to treat their illness, or are we going to give them a pill that's going to treat them for happiness
Mm.
or for sadness? All of that type of stuff. But they all got into it, and then they all voted which one was the most innovative. And then, I gave them a little, trophy and stuff like
That's so
that.
meaningful. That is so meaningful for an organization to look at something that other people would be thinking about just trashing or throwing out and turning it into something that could really change the world. So
Yeah, right.
that's like is what's junk for somebody else is treasure for somebody else.
Exactly,
This is
exactly.
good.
It's I had another when I did this with youth leadership camp, and one of the things that I wanted the kids to do is that I wanted them to learn how to work together as in teams.
Mm.
So, and I have a youth camp or workshop that I did. It's called Brave Creative Kids. And I was tired of all of the bullies, and I said, we're going
I
to learn
remember
how.
this.
Yeah, and it's how can I get the kids to understand that they had to look at their problems from a 360-degree view? And if they're going to look from a 360-degree view, they have to put wings on. And they created their own wings so they could fly up and see above
Oh,
above the scene. Then they were, in their a mandala, they were, like they were just sketching it out, but they did it on foil and they etched into it, and then they colored it on with Sharpie because then they had all of the colors. But then they learned that, what were their power, what was their superpower. They had to design all of this stuff. So one of the things was they had to learn to stand in their own power. So I went foraging for wonderful, fabulous sticks and these large things. And I said, you have to decorate these sticks. These
mm.
are your power sticks, your warrior sticks. Not a warrior to go and smack somebody upside the head, but
Right.
these are you're standing in your own power.
Mm.
And I had this one fifth grader who said, I can't believe we're going to be decorating a perfectly good stick. And I'm going, no, 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 no. I said, we are going to work together as a team
Yeah.
to create what your power stick is, or how you're standing in your own power.
Mm.
And then I said, you're also doing fundraising with the leadership camp. You have to come up with the organization that you're going to support and how you're going to raise the funds. I said, and think of yourself as this creative leader. I said, now all of a sudden you have a nonprofit. And your nonprofit is this lemonade stand. And how are you going to get people to come and buy your lemonade as opposed to the other teams, the other organization, to buy their lemonade? What are you going to do to think outside the box? I had a question going, well, what happens if we're doing this as kids? What
Right.
happens if we're older? And I said, well, think of it this way. You are now running a nonprofit and all of
Mhm.
your funding just dried up.
Mm.
What are you going to do? Are you going to let the business die? Are you going to let the nonprofit die?
Mm.
No, you're going to get everybody together. You're going to masterminding. You're going to think outside the box, all of these different creative ideas in order to be able to raise money. I said, I said, here's another example. You're an engineer and you have been tasked with building a bridge across a valley. In order to save time, all of the villagers didn't want to go travel 5 or 6 hours to get from one side of the valley to the other. I
Right.
said, we want you to build a bridge, but the bridge can't stand out like a sore thumb. It needs to be, one, structurally sound, but two, it needs to blend into the environment. What
Mm.
are you going to do? You're going to take science, you're going to take engineering, and you're going to take art and
Mm.
creativity. That's the power of creativity.
Mhm. Mm. Oh boy, boy, boy. Okay, you all can't help but be better balanced as a result of Kathy being here today. Kathy, I think ultimately I would want you to come back to just
Thank
to
you.
spend some more time with us because I think it's so many different directions we can go in. And right now, I wanted to, because you are also the author of multiple books. But if you would just tell us, which of your books do you think is the one that's been most intriguing for you to actually write, and what do you want people to kind of walk away with from all of the publications you've
I'll be very honest with you. My latest one, which is my Kaleidoscope Redesigning Your Life, I want people to understand and take a look in. And I use the kaleidoscope as a metaphor for life. I have my wonderful little kaleidoscope here. So everybody has, you see that you've got all of the colors that are in the tip, and it shakes, and you have all of the bits and pieces.
Yes.
And your life literally are all of these bits and pieces. If you look at it and it's this absolutely gorgeous pattern, it looks great, but your life falls apart. What do you have to do? You just turn it, and then it just becomes another pattern. And then it's like, wait a minute, something else happens, and it just turns again. Look at yourself as like a kaleidoscope. Use and in the book is the design principles, which I explained, which is the contrast, harmony, balance, emphasis, proportion, unity, rhythm, and repetition. But it's also the primary and secondary colors. And I explain all of this in my book, which, red, yellow, and blue are your primary colors. Orange, green, and purple are your secondary colors. And the colors all have a different meaning to them. So, red can be love. Red can be anger. Blue could be calm. If you feel that you want to walk out and feel like you're in a growth atmosphere, wear some green. If you don't feel like you look good in green, then put on a pair of green earrings. It's perfectly okay. Orange. The orange is that bright and vibrant. It's the sun. It's energy. Each and every one of the design principles has a meaning to it, to your life. Is your life proportion? Is it out of proportion? Is you're doing that with it?
I lost the earring.
It's okay.
Oh, I don't know. That's my kaleidoscope. All I did was, guess what? Turned it a little bit more.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Without earrings now.
It's your life, the kaleidoscope. By looking at your life like a kaleidoscope, it gives you the ability to give yourself a different perspective. The more you use the act of simple creativity in your life, you will actually find that balance, find that harmony, find what is working for you, what doesn't work for you. What do you need to say no to? What do you need to say yes to? And where can you find your joy?
That's good. Finding that joy. And when you find that joy, everything will come into synergistic happiness, in my opinion. And at least you can feel like now it makes sense. I'm able to whoosha and breathe again and thank
Exactly.
God.
So what I wrote in, what I have in my book, it's not just all words. Inside the book are all different exercises for you to be able to do.
Hold it up one more time so people can see that.
Hang on just a minute. Let me, okay, so I give you different art projects in here that are tied into each of the design principles. So I just held up the aluminum figure. This guy is really cool. So you can make him run.
I love this.
His feet here, it's like he's a different personality and a different, and all of a sudden you're looking at things a little bit differently.
I'm going to do that with my family. We meet each week, my adult children and I, and we think of different creative things to do. Sometimes we'll play board games.
This one is actually that's in the book. All it is some floral chicken wire and two
I love it.
frames, or like wooden frames, and then you have the different pieces of paper. And this is great. This is good because we're ending up coming to near to the end of the year. And all of these are is just paper scraps. Now, what if you were to take 365 of these paper scraps and you literally write what was happy and positive, what you wanted to make a change? You roll it up like this and you put it in
Mm.
a spot. Now you hanging this up on the wall, and now you actually have a 365-day positive energy piece of artwork that's going to hang in your house all year round. Or, I mean, you can shift these up. This one is actually based off of it's the project is the design principle is balance. So, and this is there, all of the different colors. So I actually purposefully picked all of these different colors in order to come through. And it's a crystal. Oh gosh, I can't even pronounce it myself. But if you get my book, you can read it in the chapter. All of the different design principles and all of the different projects and all of
I,
the explanation and
I
stuff.
would use that. I would use that same thing for some of the things that God has put in my heart,
Mhm.
as like write the vision, make it plain.
Yep,
And that would give me the opportunity to write a lot of the visionary things that God placed in my spirit that I
exactly.
can actually put there and go back and pull out and remind myself. I
Yep.
love this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Yep. And I have like 12, 15 different art projects that you can either do by yourself or with with
That's
your
good.
family members. I also give you all of the explanations for doing vision boards and the different types of vision boards
Yes.
that there are. I know real estate agents use vision boards all the time. How do you
Yeah.
design your life?
Mm.
And it's yet, and in my book as well, there's also I also have a lot of journal prompts. If I can find in here.
While
Uh,
you're looking, Dr. Shirley Murphy, we see you in the studio audience and just want to acknowledge you. I see definitely Dr. Nefertina Serrano, and she's in and said, hello, ladies. So nice to see you live together. I see my mom made a comment too. She said, as a child and growing into an adult, I always loved coloring. It is so relaxing.
Right. Exactly. So, I love talking about the different shapes, and I want to point this one out. And there are in general 5 universal shapes, but in my book, I kind of brought out, I did the 6 shapes. So each shape has a different meaning to it, but in the universe, everything is made up of 5 universal shapes, whether it's circle, a triangle, a square, a spiral, and a crisscross. And everyone has a certain meaning to it. So I actually have a thing in here. Take a moment to reflect what the shapes mean to you, et
That's
cetera, et
good.
cetera. But in these journal prompts, I actually ask people to, like say, what is your personal reflection after you have gone through the creative exercise? So with drawing or scribbling, how did you feel before you started drawing? What emotions or thoughts were most present at the start? Were you carrying any expectations or resistance into the exercise? Another one, did you want to stop before the 5 minutes were up? If yes, what made you want to stop? If not, what kept you engaged in the
Mm.
process? How do you feel now that your drawing is complete? Has anything shifted emotionally or mentally? What surprises or insights came through? Did you notice a rhythm or pattern in your marks?
Mm,
Were certain shapes or movements repeated? What might those patterns reflect about your current state?
mm.
And then the final one, were you able to let go and draw without overthinking? There's that George.
I need that alone. Without overthinking. Somebody make sure you type not overthinking things.
Exactly. If not, what held you back? And if yes, how did that sense of freedom feel in your body?
Hmm. Okay. I love y'all. Listen, you have to get the book. How do they get the book and how do they get an autographed copy from you? Kaleidoscope, redesigning your life and tapping into your inner artist.
So if you go on to my website on ImageWorks, there's a tab that says books. You can buy that one directly. It'll go to the Amazon link. But if you want to buy one directly that is autographed by me, please email me at Kathy@imageworks.net, and it's in the orange box that Kim just put down.
Well, because I have audio listeners, I want to make sure I spell out works for you. It's
Oh,
Kathy
absolutely, because
with the K, Kathy at image, WERKS.net. Kathy at imageworks.net.
yes, absolutely. And email me, let me know I want to buy a book. Give me your information. I will send you back a link to be able to purchase the book, and then I will be able to send it to you with
Excellent.
all of this stuff. And obviously, it'll be shipping and tax included, and my signature will be in there with
I'm
always stay colorful and
so
creative.
This is a great investment if you are looking to just express and figure out a step-by-step guide to be able to open up your creative side. Right now, I had never even thought, I wasn't even thinking down this vein until Kathy came on the show today. Okay. So because you came on the show today, you've actually eased some of my stress that I've been talking to my mom about. And now I'm like, oh, I'm going to color it away.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, it was interesting. One of my dad's caregiver is when I was just up there visiting to check in on him, and I found in his office one of my very first coloring book, which was and I said brought it down to her, and I had showed that's my dad. He is one of the most resilient individuals,
Dad,
and he is 100 years old.
get out of here. And you know what? He must be creative as well, because for him to be 100 years old, this man looks like life is great.
Yeah.
I don't have a care in the world. I'm happy. What? Tell us about him.
So, Dad, his background is an engineer. Or a safety engineer, so there goes the left brain, and all the logic and everything.
Right.
But and I always tease him. I said he taught me well to observe and see the world, because I used to do some work with him and during the summers when I was home from college. But he's always had an interest in photography. He's always had an interest in art, specifically watercolor class. And when my mom got sick, he cared for her, and what literally saved him. And again, like I was caring for my husband, what saved both of us was creativity. He
Mhm.
is also very, very interested in art, and he surrounded himself by working and becoming a docent at the Wadsworth Atheneum Art Museum in Hartford, Connecticut. And so he would dive into all of these paintings and analyze them. There's the left brain. But again, just surrounding yourself with art makes you feel good. So after mom passed, he actually about a year later met a nice lady, and they were, oh gosh, he was 89, she was 90. And they
Oh,
were,
look at you, Matt. Look at what? He
yeah,
like, this is not over till God says so.
that's exactly right. So that she had to go into an assisted living, so she just had to move out. But they were living together for like 9 years. It's,
89 and 90.
well, now, when she moved out, she was 101, and dad was just about 100. And but all along, I mean, he's slowing down right now because he's at
Right, of
100.
course, of course.
But what does he do? He dives into his docent dialogue, which is for the art museum,
Oh,
takes watercolor classes. He's an amazing
mm,
artist for watercolor. And
mm,
he also dove into the family genealogy, again, that research and looking at photos and surrounding and learning
okay.
the stories and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
And
I love your family. I love your family.
but it's resilience.
Mm,
Creativity helps you build resiliency.
mm.
And it's, again, as I said when we started this conversation, creativity is your superpower.
Creativity. Make sure you all capture that comment. Creativity is your superpower. And no trash that you may have around your house is really trash when you've heard what Kathy had to say today. So, Kathy, as we are going to be coming to a close here, I probably have maybe two more questions for you. But one is I'm thinking about the fact that today's episode is called Being the Artist of Your Life. And so, with that whole theme, I want to make sure people hear what that really means to you personally.
No matter what you do, good, bad, right, wrong, happy, sad, you've created your own reality, and you create your own reality. And that act of creation is actually, think of it as a artist way, or like, like the Julia Cameron wrote the book, The Artist Way. Again, it is all of this. And then the other thing is that when I was writing the book and doing the research on this, is the Toltec wisdom. So these are Mexican Indians, so the ancient culture, the Toltecs. The Toltec wisdom is, and I did not know this, and this was Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, and his son also followed in his footsteps for Don. I think it was Don Manuel Ruiz. And they said, "You are the artist of your life." That
Mm,
is true ancient Toltec wisdom.
mm,
No matter what you create, we're here on this earth to experience and learn. Look at everything that you experience in life as a lesson. The more you look at life as a lesson,
mm.
and again, good, bad, positive, negative, I don't care,
That's
love,
good.
hate, what we're experiencing now in this world, this is the biggest lesson for humanity. How can we make ourselves better? How can we stay calm throughout all of this stuff?
Good.
Don't let things get to you. I know that, there's some people that are going, "Oh, I can't do this," that you don't understand. And if you
Wow.
take a step back, put those angel wings on your back and rise above and look at
Mm.
everything that is going on with a 365-degree view.
Mm. Yes.
No matter what, you will always find a solution.
Huh.
Baby steps. I tell my daughter and friends if they have an
Yes.
insurmountable problem, or they think, or a friend that is downsizing. I'll be looking at my dad's house to downsize him when I move him to an independent living place near
Right.
me. And somebody said, "So what do you always say?" And I said, "I know. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time."
One little teeny bite. Right.
Exactly right.
Wow. Okay, this is good. And I went and looked up the Toltec wisdom things, the four agreements, and one of them is be impeccable with your word. Maybe I should have put my glasses on.
Oh, here it's here, and I have my cards here. It is be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. That was number
Personally.
2. 3 is don't make assumptions. Big one. And
Yes, that's big. We assume a lot of things, but we don't
exactly
know it
right.
to be true.
And here is the 4th one. Always do
Always do
your best.
your best. Let's say that one together again. One, two, three. Always
Always do your
do your
best.
best.
This book actually was an eye opener. It is so simple.
Hmm. That's good. That's good. I've learned so much today by having you here. What do you want your legacy to be? Because you're making a difference in so many people's lives, Kathy. Anybody that has not experienced Kathy Strauss yet, then you're missing out on something wonderful, is what you're missing
Thank
out on. And so I really encourage you. First of all, I encourage you and invite you back on the Kim Jacobs Show
you. I
to
would
be
love
one
to.
of our Freestyle Friday experts. We go live on Fridays. And we have experts that come on in different areas. We have like the sunshine expert. We have a woman of many hats experts. We have a mental health expert. So we need a kaleidoscope expert.
Thank you. That would be awesome. Like that.
So please feel free to join our Freestyle Friday expert panel and pick a Friday that you can come back and just bless us with your presence consistently when time permits for you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. What I want people to understand is that, and especially, um, oh, thanks, Joe.
Joe's like, great advice, baby steps, always do your
For you,
best.
Watson.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Oh, yeah, there's another part. There's another art gallery that's down in the Myrtle Beach area. So we
Nice.
have, yeah. So there are where Vision Arts Gallery is, and the Kaleidoscope is part of Myrtle Beach's new Arts and Innovation District. They're
Aw.
renovating and revitalizing the old downtown. So there's a lot of work to be done. So again, revitalize yourself through creativity, revitalize yourself, get my book, ask me questions, shoot, but always do, you know, and that's my partner, Jillian, that wearing the jeans, and we were standing in front of our gallery, with actually the wife of one of our brand new artists, Glenn Lamp, bright, colorful nature paintings.
Wow. Okay. I think we got in as much as we could in this time frame. Is there anything that you didn't say that you'd like to say with everyone? I do want to invite you all to partner with the Kim Jacobs Show. If you haven't already partnered today, or even if you have, type that and let me know. But we invite you to partner with us. This is the way that we can bring wonderful guests into your home. Right in the comfort of your home, you're able to be a part of the Kim Jacobs Show. You can donate to our program through paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Venmo is at the Kim Jacobs Show. Zelle is 704-962-7161. Or you can even become a Patreon member, and we put exclusive content backstage that nobody else gets to see except for our Patreon members, which is patreon.com/the Kim Jacobs Show. What's the closing comment or some things that you maybe didn't get a chance to say on the show, Kathy?
Oh gosh, I think I covered everything. I very honestly, I just love talking about creativity and how it can change your life, how it changed my life,
Yes.
and it's, um, you know, think of your life as a kaleidoscope. Whatever you do, just look at that, look at those bits and pieces. Your life is full of colorful bits and pieces, no matter what shape or patterns that they are in. If you don't like the way they look, twist the kaleidoscope. It can actually change and then shift the way that you perspective. As well as the other most important thing is that if you've got something that is bothering you, or if it's not a great day, Mel Robbins has in her latest book, The Let Them Theory, let them do whatever they need to do. Let me go on and be the artist of my life. Let me do all of the stuff that I need to do, and I will still continue to support you. But that's how I get through life.
You are getting through life in just a masterful way that will probably lead you to be about 100 or more like your dad. Because when we can get some of the weight of the world off of our shoulders and really put things in their proper perspectives, life can just be a lot less noisy, according to Kathy Strauss. Thank you, Kathy, for being here today. Let's tell people one more time how they can stay connected with you. Make sure you get that book and share it with even a friend over the holiday season. If you already have a copy, get another copy and gift it to someone else. This is a book worth having, Kaleidoscope. Tell them how they can stay connected with you.
And you can stay in touch with me via my two businesses. One, ImageWerks, ImageWerks, and that's imageworks.net. My email is Kathy@imageworks.net, or through my art gallery. Come take a class with us. Okay, if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, I can't wait to see you. It's an easy in and out in the Myrtle Beach airport, or to drive down. You get to dip your toes in the Atlantic Ocean and the beach, and then we're a couple of blocks in the Arts and Innovation District at Vision Arts Gallery, and that's at www.visionartsgallery.com, or you can reach us through our email at gallery@visionartsgallery.com. And if you really have a burning question and want to get a hold of me, text me at 703-304-1031. And we are in the gallery Tuesday through Saturday. Come take a class, come buy some art, come support all of us artists, and come visit Jillian and I. We would love to have you there and come hang out.
When I come to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, now I know this show is all around the globe. So at the end of the day, you might not be right near the South Carolina area, but you can virtually connect through some of the workshops that they offer. And you can get the book and apply it even in your own local area, some of the art projects that she shares.
Right. We are on Facebook at Vision Arts Gallery of Myrtle Beach, as well as on Instagram. We are only 2 months old with the gallery, so
you never know that.
Oh, thank you. We worked long and hard in order to get this. We're 2 months old, and our vision moving forward with our growth with the gallery is that we want to have a lot of online workshops and stuff that people can actually experience. So there's your global.
Okay. Well, everybody, we are so grateful that you tuned into this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I see all of you on all of the different platforms. I see you, Lady J. I see you, Rosa. I see you, Dr. Marcia. I see all of you. I hope I acknowledged as many people as I possibly could today, and very grateful that you make the show what it is. Thank you, Kathy, for being my special guest today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to seeing you on a Freestyle Friday.
Oh, there you have it. She's joined the Freestyle Friday expert panel, and we're going to look forward to that being the case. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Have a great day. I love you all so much. Love you, Kathy, and you stay backstage. Talk to you soon, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you, and make it a great day.